Hi, it's Xavier, and I'm in my bonsai retreat, and hopefully we're going to do something a little bit different. I don't know how long this is going to take, although I know how long the video will take, not very long. But while watching a load of stuff from Tony's Bonsai, on one of his videos he had a Dropbox for some of his wildlife or nature or landscape photography that he took, and I know a couple of people sort of followed up on it, and I don't know whether they picked their best picture or whatever. And regardless of whether it's Tony's stuff or not, I have often kept pictures of trees and thought, do you know, I'd love to replicate that. So there was a picture. Oh, that's the sound of work. Anyway, there was a picture, an empty one that Tony took, and he does take some fantastic photographs, and it was of a silver birch group. And I thought, do you know what, I've got some odd silver birches about, and they've got some wicked little bends in them, and I didn't really know what to do with them. And I thought, why not try and replicate it? And it was I think it was a Windswept group, and I've got a copy of the picture here, but if we go to the full screen you'll probably be seeing it now. One of the biggest issues I had, if you're looking at the initial picture, is deciding whether or not it's made up of, you know, one triple trunk tree or a single trunk or four, or even at one point there you look at it, there could even be 5. And I thought, you know what, it doesn't really matter, it's all about the perspective. So I went through various different tricks with the editing, photograph editing, and ended up getting an image that I was happy to work from. And that's the image you see now. So I've got this image here on my clipboard, and all I need to do for the first part of this is select. I'm going to go for 4. I'm not sure, there may be a 5th. If Tony's about and he's up to it, or actually if his dad's up to it, send him out to the place where he took this picture and just confirm whether it's a triple trunk, or whether it's 3 trees and a single, or whether there's actually a 4th one hiding there. But either way, I'm going to try and construct from this. Now I've got to look through the material I've got here, because 3 of them look to be the same age and 1 looks maybe younger, but I've got a funny feeling they're all the same age. So I'm going to try and match that, and all I'm going to initially be doing is looking at trying to get the starting shape, and then later on we'll start looking at how we can work with the branches and structure to try and get that windswept look. And it may be that what I'll do to sort of mimic the age and the difference in trunks is let one of them grow on for a year. So getting from that, you can see it's going to be a long-term project. But if that's the sort of thing you like, then this is definitely something you want to hit the bell notification, or as Kat said in one. In fact, let's go straight to Kat now.
Do you find yourself thinking about expressions of grace bonsai, or bonsai retreats as it's newly named, even when you're driving in inclement weather? I do. Therefore you should like, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment, because we know that Dad likes to have a little convo all the time. Why is my voice so weird? Like, subscribe, and comment before I lose my mind, because he told me I had to make a lot of videos like this, okay?
You think this was all pretty contrived, but yeah, so definitely you want notifications if you want to see how this one develops. So let's have a look at some of the trees I've got first. So the hard thing here is this little one here has got a definite bend on it. I've got one here that's got a definite bend on it. And it also bends off to that way, so I can actually place that tree on that side. So I'm happy that this is going to be this tree here, I think. So we'll put that as tree number 4. Now looking here, we've got either the whole lot's one big clump, or we've got one here, one growing out here, and then this one behind it growing out that way. And there's even a suggestion of even one beyond that may actually account for this bit here. But what I need is something that's fairly, is that a broken branch there? Or actually, see, I need this movement down here. So this one, just a little bit of a, potentially, oh, let's have a look what we've got in here. Actually in here we've got 2 together. So how, although it has got a big bend in the bottom, and I don't think So there's another one growing from that one. So I'm just trying to replicate how that would look. Tell you what, I'll keep looking through these. It is pretty tough because I'm not going to get the exact. So either get in my head think 3-4 years from now, in which case I want young material, or if there's something that's obviously right. We've got this little small one here. Got this one here. Slight bend on it. It's fairly straight. Potentially, and I've got some growth that can go off. Could go at the back there. But what I also did is, just in case, I ordered 4. I think I ordered 4. And they're in little plugs. And they're obviously very, very young. See the little plugs there? So I won't be disturbing roots, but they're all very, very straight. And I might be able to create what it is I want from these. Now they're obviously a lot younger than those. I think already what I've recognised is that I'm not going to be able to replicate that exactly. So let's go for an impression. Those plugs may actually just all get bound up nice and tight and get a 5 trunk or whatever. Okay, I'm finding it's a little bit tougher than I thought because my brain can't get the images there out enough that I can think broader. In other words, years down the line. So what I've done is this one, which is actually a combined trunk, 2 things, which actually does sit in with that. So I'm going to try and what I'm going to try and do is get the wiring for these 2 as though these are actually joined, and you can't really tell down there. So I've wired these up, and the reason why I picked this one is mainly because of this one here, because it's got that lovely straight branch, which is the closest I can get to that up there. So I am going to try and manipulate this wire. I can actually straighten this one out a bit. It's probably easy if you can see there. But if I put a bit of soil in the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to try and play around with the wire. We'll get you in close so you can see what my little fingers are doing. Now, this one is clearly coming towards and around. So I'm just going to get this out of the way for now. It says, hoping you can, right. Now that's the bend that's got to represent that, so that's actually got to be coming. I've actually got to try and bring this in front to replicate that. On that. And obviously the other issue with these is they are very smooth barked, but if you look at that, it can be pretty rough and ready. So let's think again. I need to have that coming towards me. That's a bit of a pain, because I can't really, from there, it actually goes straight up and around. Okay, I feel that's the closest I'm going to get to right now to that. It's got that interesting gap in there. That's going off and up. And then this can eventually be cut. In fact, we can do that now because that's what's going to happen. So let's just cut it there. Okay, now I know there's not a Y piece there. In fact, we know there's not a Y piece there, so let's just cut it properly. So we've got that, and that goes off to the right a bit. So it's going off to the right and then comes back up and around. And then up and around, and then who knows, so something like that. This one is difficult, but what I can do is I do recognise I obviously don't need that. It's all going to be going that way anyway, but we'll take off that top. Actually that wouldn't come out, in fact that does, that branch goes across, so it's a little bit hard to get that right. That needs to be a little bit more that way. Yeah, it's enough. I just need to have a tree that will go behind it. I've got this that comes across the front, which is, again, sometimes what you're trying to do, it's impression. So you want a few identifiable features, like that tree there, although it's thicker, which is clearly that one. Then that branch represented here, then you know this is a bit straight and these are close. So it's giving you a taste, an ambience, so that you can go, yeah, I recognise that from somewhere. And when you look close, you realise it's actually unique, it's different, but based on it. So let's go impressionistic, shall we? And get some yellow daffs in there as well. Yeah, I like daffodils, they're all over my garden. Okay, so that's what we're going to use as a central one. And then all I need to do is find out a fairly straightforward one that goes up, has a little curve on it, and I can pretty well see one, and I think it's going to be this one. That one's sitting in behind. It's fairly straight, there's nothing much to it, so again with this one it's just about having a bit of wire to it. So there, the 4 trees that I'm going to use to make it up. No, we're in the middle of July, and the last time I did a repot in the middle of July, I think it was my Etruscan Vesuvian $50 challenge with Xavier, and oh, the root pruning I did. In fact, you want to see the savagery that took place then. Have a look now. But that was an extreme. I'm not actually going to be cutting much roots off. I'm just going to manipulate it enough so that I can get it into this pond basket. So I'll get some soil in there. I'll put the trees a little bit in there, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've got them out of their little tubs. I want to seat the central one in first. Now, ultimately, when I get to this, I will buy a pot or a slab or something that will be able to sit this in. But all I want to do for this now is to sit this up, probably just off to the right, and making sure that I've got the basic diametry that I want. So that's how I want it. Just breaking up those a bit. And obviously the aim will be is that the roots on these will all combine in together eventually. In fact, I don't need all that top growth, it keeps falling over because I'm going for that top growth. Let's get rid of that. We've got to have this one sitting behind it. There's a slight curve going out, hang on. This is quite hard, you know. But I know this one, regardless, goes off that way. Okay, now for the hard bit. Right, the trees are in. Now I need to do a bit of jiggling around to try and get as close to the image that I've got there as possible. So once I've done that, I'll come back to you and you see what you think. Okay, well, I've done a bit of jigging about, and I mean, hopefully the picture's up in the top corner so you can see all along what I'm trying to do. But I think I've got the basic shapes and gaps that I need there. So I just need to carefully bed that in. Now, I'm very aware the wire on that with silver birch is, well, you really shouldn't be putting it on like that, and I could have covered it with stuff, but I shall watch it. And really what I'm looking for is I just want enough greenery that the roots start knitting together so that I can play with it a bit more. But that's, I think the front is somewhere about there. Yeah, so obviously, I mean, it's already, if you look at it, the windswept part is going off to the right. I I've got to try and ignore that because it's this part here that I'm concentrating on. But anyway, so that's the first part for this Silver Birch Windswept. Just a reminder, this is the photo that I'm actually trying to replicate or to give an impression of, and hopefully as a starter we're somewhere near it. But anyway, you let me know in your comments, and honestly I don't want to make this a challenge because we end up doing stuff at the wrong time of the season and we feel we need to do it. But what I said, if you find yourself a nice photograph and you think you've got the tree material already to try and give an impressionistic view or look of it, then hey, crack on, do that. And what I'd ask is that if anyone is interested, if you're a subscriber especially, in fact this is I'll put the challenge out to subscribers. Try and replicate a tree or a picture, and then either do a little short video which you can send in to me, and if you don't know how, just ask me in the comments, and perhaps we can sort of share everyone else's attempt at this alongside my own. This has got a long way to go, but you know what? I'm really quite excited about it. So, from Xavier, with his bonsai picture challenge, hey, thanks very much for watching again and again. If there's any creators out there who want to try the same thing, by all means do it, and maybe I will put a hashtag bonsai photograph challenge, and we'll see where we go from there. But please don't kill a tree to try and do it, because right now it's middle of July and you saw how I treated those. If you think you can do the same, great, but otherwise your own time, and let me know how you get on. All the best, God bless, happy bonsaiing, cheers.